Welcome to Kendra's Artistic Crochet Designs. I'm putting this video on before the other video because we started this and the first 22 rows went fine, but 23 I made a mistake and had to tear out the last 3 rows. So 23, 24, and 25. So I corrected the mistake at the end of the video. So skip the first 23, 24, 25, and then just go up to the next one where I corrected my mistake. So I just kind of wanted to let you guys know, because I don't want you guys making the same mistake, and then this way you won't have to be tearing out stitches like I did. So thank you guys for watching. Welcome to Kendra's Artistic Crochet Designs. Alright, and today we are going to be making our 4th diamond, and this is what we're making. I think it's 4 clovers together. I think that's, I thought I'd try that and see what that looks like. But anyway, we are going to get started, and I am needing 3 colors, which I have. So we have blue, and that one is going to go in the middle. Let's see. We're going to need this green. Well, come on. Where are you at? Find the end here. And then this green. Alright, which will be in the end. Alright, so we are going to start. I'm starting with a light green. And making a slip knot and chaining 2. And I have my J hook that we've been using for all of these diamonds. Alright, so I'm in this, I chained 2. In the second chain from the hook, you're going to put a single crochet and 2 doubles, and that is our falling leaf stitch. And we're going to call this a square. This is the first square, and this is row 1. Okay, so row 2, we're going to chain 2 and turn. And in the second chain from the hook, we're going to make a square. Which, is our falling leaf stitch. And then you're going to skip the next 2 stitches, and in the last stitch over, which is a single crochet, we're going to put another falling leaf stitch in that. So you'll be putting falling leaf stitches either in the second chain from the hook or in the single crochets. Alright, row 2 is done. We have 2 squares. Alright, row 3, chain 2 and turn. And row 3 is where we come in with the blue. So we're chaining 2, and in the second chain from the hook, again, we're going to put our falling leaf stitch. But I am not going to finish this last stitch because I need to bring in my blue, because the next square is blue. So I'm going to bring in the blue. And again, I am skipping the next 2 stitches, as in this single, I am going to put a falling leaf stitch. And I want to make sure that that tail's long. And I'm carrying the green with me because once we get this square done, we need to switch over to the green, bring it back up, and I'm going to leave that blue there, and I'm skipping the next 2 stitches, and in the last stitch I'm going to put green. And that is what row 3 looks like. So there's 1, 2, 3 squares. I finished that. Alright, so we need to mark off these rows as we go. And let me mark off 1, 2, and 3. So I've marked off my rows. And I think I've told you before that I put my patterns in plastic so I can use these dry erase markers, and then I can wipe it off at the end, and then I can use these patterns over and over again that way. So I think this is a really neat idea, and I thought I'd let you guys know that's what I normally do. I don't know if I told you that before. So anyway, we're going to chain 2 and turn for row 4, and in the second chain from the hook, we need to make our falling leaf stitch. And then we need to switch over to blue. We're bringing this forward, and so I need to bring the blue in. And I'm going to carry that green with me. That green needs to be carried. We are putting 2 blue in next. And then we're going to switch over to green for the last square. So this is row 4. You should have 4 squares. So if, you know, row 1 was 1 square, row 2 was 2 squares, 3 was 3 squares, 5 will be 5 squares. So that's how it goes up. So you always know what row you're on. Say that you take a break and not go any further, and you're trying to figure out what row you're on. You want to count these squares. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we just got done with row 4. So row 5 is next. So that way you know exactly what row you're on. And let's mark that off. And also, if you mark these off, you'll also know by looking on your pattern. That is true too, if that's how you do it. I like to mark them off because it's easier to read because I know than the next row. So we're going to chain 2 and turn for row 5. And in the second chain from the hook, we're going to start our first square. And this is going to get a little bit interesting. So what we're going to do in this row is we are going to alternate the greens and the blues. So it'll be green, blue, green, blue, green. And so now we got to go to a blue. And we're just alternating the greens and the blues. Starting with green. So now we got to go back to the green. And the next one is green. And then go back to the blue. And the next one is blue. And then the last one is green. All right, we're going to chain 2 and turn. And that was row 5. So row 5 is done. Row 6 is next. Alright, so we have then the second chain from the hook. We're going to put our light green. And then we're going to switch over to blue. Oh, wait a minute. That green has to come forward. We don't want to mix these up and get these tangled. I was so excited that I figured this out so my yarn stopped tangling. Alright. So now we need 4 blue while we're carrying our green with us. So there's 1. 2. 3. And 4. Alright, and now we're going to switch over to the green, and the last one is green. And that is what row 6 looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yep, 6. So that's row 6. All done. Let's move on to row 7. Uh-oh. Where'd that go? I just lost my clip. Did it go down inside the bag? There it is. Alright. Alright, so row 7. Alright, so chain 2. And in the second chain from the hook, we are going to start our green square, our light green square. And we're going to switch over to blue, bringing this forward. Alright, and I need 2 blue. And then we need a green. So it'll be 2 blue, 1 green, and 2 blue again, and then a green at the end. So let's switch back over to blue and do our 2 blue. And there you have it. So there is row 7 finished. Row 8 is next. So we're going to chain 2 and turn and start in the second chain from the hook with our first light green square. And then we're going to switch over to blue. And we need 2 blue. So there's 1. And 2. And now we need to switch over to the green again. And we need 2 green. So there's 1. And 2. And now let's switch back over to the blue and do 2 blue. So 2 blue and 1 green should finish off this row. And there's row 8. Marking off row 8. Row 9 is up next. So we're going to chain 2 and turn and start our first square in the second chain from the hook. And now we need 3 blue. And then switch back over to the green. And we need a green. Just one green. And then switch back over to the blue. And now we need 3 blue and a green. We'll finish this off. And these are light greens that I'm doing. I'm just saying green for short. I should get used to saying light green because once the regular green gets in there. Alright. Alright, and there is what it looks like. So cool. Oh yes, these little squares. Okay. Alright, cool. Alright, so there is row 9 done. And let's look for row 10 next. In row 10, we're going to chain 2 and turn. And then we're going to start our first square in that second chain from the hook. Switch over to blue. This is an easy one. So we're going to do blue all the way across until we end up with a green at the end. So it's 8 blue, it's 1 green, 8 blue, and 1 green. This row. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we need this green at the end. And there you have it. So there's row 10. Alright, row 11. Chain 2 and turn. And we're going to start out with our light green. And then I need to bring in the blue. Alright, so we need 4 blue, 1 light green, 4 blue, and 1 light green. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. Switching over to the green. We need just 1 green here. And then switch back over to the blue. And now we need 4 blue. So there's 2, 3, 4. All right, and there is 11, row 11. Row 11 is done. Row 12 is next. So let's chain 2 and turn. And we're going to start our first square in the second chain from the hook, as we usually do here in this pattern. And then we're going to switch over to blue, and I need to pull that green forward. There we go. So now I need 4 blue. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. And then we need 2 green, 2 light green. And then switch back over to blue, and we need 4 blue and a light green to finish off this row. There's 3. And then green to finish it off. And there's row 12. And that's what it should look like. onward to row 13. So we're going to chain 2 and turn, and start out with the light green in the second chain from the hook. Switch over to blue. And now we need 5 blue. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to switch back to green and put 1 light green in there. And then switch back to blue. And now we need 5 blue and 1 light green to finish off this row. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we switch over to the light green and finish off with that. And there is what row 13 looks like. All right. "14" is next. Chain 2 and turn. And in the second chain from the hook, we're going to start our square. All right. And then we're going to switch over to blue. And we need 3 blue. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to add another color in here. This is where the regular green comes into. So we're going to start with that. Now we're going to be carrying our blue and our light green as well. Make sure that tail's long enough. So we are going to need 2 green in here, regular green. So there's 1. 2. All right, and now we're going back to the blue. So this green goes here, this green goes here, the blue comes up in the middle. All right. Did I put that green in the wrong one? Yes, I did. It also helps if you put it in the right stitch. Did I put this one in the wrong one? I wonder why I thought I had the right stitch. This is the one right there I need. And then we'll leave that behind. Alright, now we're switching over to blue. We've got our 2 green. Blue's coming up the middle. There we go. We needing 2 blue. So there's 1. And 2. So we're bringing up the green again. And we are needing 2 green. Alright, now we're going to go back to the blue. And now we need 3 blue and 1 light green. So I'm just going to leave this green behind right here and not carry it any further. So now I need 3 blue and 1 light green. That should finish off this row. Is that right? Two. Oh, wait a minute. We needed 2 of those greens. Did I say 2 green? I'm getting ahead of myself. I need another one. Now we can switch back over to blue. But I'm leaving that one behind and bringing this light green with me because I need it at the end. So 3 blue and a light green to finish off this row. And here's our light green here at the end. Alright, so there is row 14. Row 15 is next. And then we're going to chain 2 and turn. Okay. We're starting out with our light green. in the second chain from the hook. And then we're switching over to blue. And I need 3 of these blues. So there's 1. 2. 3. And now we need the green. And we're going to do 3 green.
I'm watching for you. This is gonna hurt you, though.
So there's 1.
I'll check the computer.
I'm videotaping, honey.
Okay. Oh, that's chilly.
2. 3. Go to blue. And we need 1 blue. And then we're hitting green again, and we need 3 green. So there's 1. 2. And 3. And then we'll go back to blue. And we need 3 blue. I'm going to leave this green behind. We need 3 blue and a light green to finish off this row. So this is 2. Three. Ugh. And there we have it. So that is row 15. We'll mark that one off. Row 16. We're going to chain 2 and turn. And in the second chain from the hook, we are going to start our first light green square. And then we need to go over to blue. So there's 1, 2. We need 4 blue. Three. And 4. All right, now we need to go to the green. So we are needing 6 green. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. We're going to go back to the blue, and then we'll end up with, I'm leaving that green there behind. We're going to end up with 4 blue and a light green to finish off this row. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. And now we need a light green. And there we have it. So that is row 16. Row 17 is next. And we are going to chain 2 and turn. And start our first square off as the light green in the second chain from the hook. Alright, we need to go to the blue. And we're needing 4 blue. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. And then we're going back, we're going to the regular green next. We need 3 regular green. So there's 1. 2. 3. Switch back to the light green. We need 1 light green. And then switch back to the regular green. And we need 3 regular green. So there's 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to switch to the blue. And then we need 4 blue and a light green to finish off this row. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Switching over to the light green and finishing off that last square with the light green. In case you haven't noticed, that in this pattern you will always start with a light green and always end with a light green. That makes things easier. Alright, so there we have it. That is row 17. Row 18 is next. We're going to chain 2 and turn, and we're going to start our first square in the second chain from the hook as usual with the light green. Switching over to blue. We are needing 5 blue, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's the green. And now we're going to go to green, and we need 6 green. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we need to go to the blue, bring up the blue, switch over to blue, and then we need 5 blue and a light green. We'll finish off this row. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go to light green and finish off at the end with that. So this is row 18 finished. Looking pretty cool. Row 19. Chain 2 and turn. And start with your first square and the second chain from the hook. And switch over to blue. And we're going to need 3 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3. So we need this green next. And I'm going to try to carry it over these. And we need 5 green. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. 1 more. 5. We're switching off to the light green. And that we need to put this. And then we need 1 light green. And then switch off to the green. And we are going to need 5 regular green again. So there's 1. 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. Switching back to our blue and leaving that green behind there. We are going to put 3 blue and a light green to finish off this row. So there's 1, 2, 3. And there we have it. So that is row 19. And row 20, we're going to chain 2 and turn. And start our square in the second chain from the hook. Switch over to blue. So we need 3 blue, there's 1, 2, and 3, and now we're switching over to green. And we are going to need 12 green. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11, 12. Switching back to blue, and we just need 3 blue and a light green to finish off this row. There's 1, 2, 3, switching back to the light green, and then here we go. We're going to finish off with that. And that is what row 20 looks like. All right, row 21. Chain 2 and turn. And we're going to start out with our light green in the second chain from the hook. And then go to blue. And we need 4 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now we're going to go to green, switch off to green, and we need 5 green, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, switch off to the light green, and put 1 light green in, and then switch back off to the green, and we need 5 green again. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go back to the blue, and now we need 4 blue and a light green to finish off this row. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Switch over to light green and finish with the last one in a light green. And then here, this is our row 21, and that's what it looks like. Row 22. Chain 2 and turn. And then we're going to start our first square in a second chain from the hook. Switching over to blue. And now we're going to need 4 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to switch off to the green. And we need 12 green. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're going to switch back off to the blue. And we're going to finish off this row with 4 blue and a light green at the end. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Switching off to the light green and finishing up that last square with that. And there is row 22. Row 23, we're going to chain 1 and turn, chain 2 and turn, and then start our first square in that second chain from the hook. And then switch over to blue. And we need 3 blue. There's 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to switch back to the light green and put a light green in there. And then switch back to the blue and put a blue in there next. Alright, switching over to the green. We are needing 5 green next. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we need to go to the light green and put a light green in. Alright, back to the green. And now we need 5 green again. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. And because this is a mirror image, I want to kind of show you. The next one will be blue. The next one will be that light green, and then 3 blue and a light green should finish this off. So I really think this is really neat that the mirror image comes out. Whoops, wait a minute. We need blue. Blue is next. We can leave that green behind. We're done with that. Alright, now we need a light green in here. And then back to the blue. And then 3 blue and a light green will finish off this row. And right there is row 23. Pretty cool. We'll mark this off and go on to row 25. 24. So we're chaining 2 and turn. And we're going to start our first square in the second chain from the hook. All right. And then we are switching over to blue, and we need 2 blue. So there's 1. 2. And let's switch back over to the light green. And we need one light green? Yes, 1 light green. And we're going to switch back and forth for a little bit here. Light green, blue, light green, blue. So we're doing the next 4, switching off between the 2. So there's a light green. Go to the blue. Switch back to the light green. And then we're going to go back to the blue. And this one comes here, blue comes forward, and we need the green. And now we're going to have 10 green. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, now we're going to switch off with the blue, green, blue in the next 4 stitches like we did before on the other side. No, actually we're not. Well, the next one is going to be blue anyway. And then, I wonder why we didn't do that at the other end. Alright. We need 2 of these light greens. And then we're going to switch to blue. Oh, goodness. Didn't want us to do that. We have to leave that green behind. I'm so worried about what we're doing next. Alright. Alright, here we go. Blue. And then 2 light greens. And then back to blue. That's weird that it's a little bit different at this end. Alright. There's the green, and then back to blue. Oh, that was a light green, not a green. And then back to the light green. And that's what it looks like thus far. And I hope I did that right. Alright. Well, let's see what this other row reveals. Row 25. chain 2 and turn. And in the second chain from the hook, we start with our light green square. And then we need to go to blue. And switch to light green. Back to light green. And it's 3 light green. So there's 1. 2. 3. And then we're going to blue next. 1 blue. And then go back to the light green. And we need 1 light green. And then back to blue. And we need 1 blue. Okay. So it doesn't look like there's any green in this row. So what we're going to do, we are going to carry this green into the end of the green. Because we're going to the light green now. And it says that we need 9 of these. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. And 9. I need 1 more. Alright. So we're pulling that green back there and leaving it there, bringing the blue up. Alright, and we're just going to do blue next. One blue. And then we're going to go back to the light green. And we need 5 light green. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. And then we need to go back to the blue and do 1 blue, and a light green will finish off this row. And this is what it looks like so far. So this was row 25. I want to kind of look at this picture. Because these don't look right. Oh, it's this up here. Okay, that makes sense now. Except for this doesn't look right over here. That looks right, but this doesn't. All right. I am going to, this is not right. So we will be back to figure out what happened. Alright, so we had to back up 23. That's where our mistake was. And I was thinking this whole thing was mirror image, and it wasn't. So it stops being mirror image right here. 23 starts out with a light green and 3 blue, and a light green and 1 blue. Then you need 5 green and a light green and 5 green. Well, then it ends up, we're leaving this green behind, it ends up putting 5 blue in after that. This is where I messed up before. So there's 1. So it's just 5 blue and a light green finishes it up. There's 2. 3. 4. 5. And then we'll hit the light green at the end. And that is what 23 should look like. Alright. Now let's mark that off. So 24 now. We'll chain 2 and turn. Starting out with our light green. switching over to blue. And we need 2 blue. So there's 1, 2, and now we need to we're putting 1 light green in here. And then switching back to blue and putting blue. And switching back to light green. I'm going to put that in. And now switch back to the blue. And then we have the blue here. Alright, now let's switch over to the green. And we're just putting 10 green in. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now let's make sure we did that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, we have 10 now. And we're going to leave that green behind. We need a blue. So we want 1 blue. And then we'll switch it over to light green. And then we need 2 light green. So there's 1, 2, and then we switch back over to the blue. And we need 1 blue, and then back to the light green. And then we need 1 light green. And then a blue and a light green to finish this off. And there is row 24. right now row 25. Chain 2 and turn. And then we start in the second chain from the hook, making our first square in the light green. And now we need to go to blue. And we need one blue, and then we need to go to the light green, and we need 3 light greens. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then switch back over to blue and put a blue in here. And then we're going to switch back to the light green and then put a light green in here. And then we need to switch back over to the blue and put a blue. And now we're switching back over to the light green, and we're going to need to carry this with us because we're going to need that in the next row probably. Well, not probably, we are. Alright. So I'm pulling this green up even though we're not using this green in this row. We're just carrying it with us. So we need 9 of these. Of the light green. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And now we're going to bring in the blue. And we need 1 blue and 5 light green. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we need a blue and a light green to finish this off. Alright, and there's what we have so far. Okay, that is 25 rows, and the end of this video, and then we will be back tomorrow to finish this diamond. And when we come back, we will be decreasing on both ends, which will be forming our corner, each corner on the ends. So we will be forming those corners when we come back. And I hope you're having fun with this diamond. I want to thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and bye-bye now.